What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Art of Crypto. Now, as you may have realized, some things look a bit different this time around. For starters, I have decided to show my face. And if you don't know who I am, my name is Schwin, and I've been the voice you've been listening to for the past 3 years here at the Art of Crypto. Now, in this video, I'm just making a quick introduction and also telling you the reason behind why I've decided to show my face and to pick up the camera. So guys, let's begin with the introductions first. So as previously mentioned, my name is Schwin and I'm 23 years old this year, and that means I started the Art of Crypto when I was about 20, and I'm originally from a country called Malaysia. I'm from the capital called Kuala Lumpur, and for pretty much the past, I'd say 12 months at this point, I've been traveling almost full time. I'm currently in Australia. As you can see behind me, they have some pretty beautiful coastlines, a great place to live. I might make a video in the future just raving about how good Australia is, but for now, let's get back into the introductions. Now, I started trading crypto when I was pretty much 18. In fact, I came in right at the peak of the bull market back in 2018, and I pretty much spent the first couple of years of my trading journey just seeing things go downhill for like a year straight. And obviously, because of those conditions, like most other beginners, I quit back then, but I did come back, right around, mid 2019 to late 2019. That was after I had started and failed multiple businesses. And I just sort of used my life savings at the time to just sort of get back into crypto. And looking back in hindsight, it was one of the best decisions that I've ever made in my career. Now, obviously there are a lot of ups and downs that I can talk about. I've lost all my money and blew up my account about 5 times. And it wasn't just my money, but it was also my parents, my grandparents, even my friends' money. And ever since that happened, I decided to just go all in. I just decided I see the potential in crypto, and I see the potential that trading has to give me the freedom that I prioritize in my life. But, due to my ignorance and my lack of skill, I lost a lot of money, and I knew that could be fixed. And so in around the start of 2020, I decided to go all in on crypto and just get really serious about making trading work. And since then, you see, a review like this, and all in all, I'm doing pretty well thanks to the decision that I made 4 years ago to go all in. And ever since I started the Art of Crypto, I've been on a mission to create the best trading education suite in the world by simply making trading easy for everyone. And this actually brings me on to the biggest reason why I've decided to start showing my face on this channel. And that has to do with the overall mission. If I want to make trading easy for everyone, I need more people to look at the content that I'm posting. And I just have a feeling that for the past, I'd say 2 years, the growth of the channel has just stayed, steady. In fact, you can even say it's plateaued and, just going down. And so I reckon a big reason why that is the case is the fact that it's really hard to connect with someone when all you can see is like a chart on the screen. And I've been told this multiple times, but, I do feel the same, which is that people tend to connect to people. And in order to achieve the mission that I've set out for myself and for the rest of the team here at the Art of Crypto, I've decided that the best move would be to share a bit more about life, in the sense that, in crypto, it's not always an easy decision to decide that, you want to get doxxed. And also just in this world, I've never been much of a internet personality sort of guy. Like, I've never wanted to be famous or anything. So in fact, I've quite enjoyed the privacy that I've had for, the last 2-3 years while running the Art of Crypto. And to suddenly put myself out on the internet is, it can be said that it's a price to pay. But one of the things that really helped me overcome that, mental barrier was a quote shared by Alex Hormozi, if you guys know who that is. And it's basically when he was talking to this guy called Dean Graziosi, one of the arguably scam, but also really successful marketers, course guru guy on the internet. Like, I've never watched this stuff before, but you cannot deny that his face has been plastered all over the internet at some point. And Alex Hormozi basically asked Dean at the time, hey, you seem to be getting harassed by all these people in real life multiple times a day. And, don't you ever get annoyed of that? Like, why did you, decide to show your face when you could just run a business and, potentially still make the same amount of money that you make at the moment? And Dean's reply was, if Getting harassed a couple times a day by people in real life is the price that he needs to pay in order to make the impact that he wants to make. Then it's a price that he would pay anytime. And that really hit Hormozy, which is why Hormozy actually started his entire brand. And ever since then, he's now become arguably the biggest business YouTuber out there, or at least the most respected. And at this point, you might ask, like, if the impact and the mission is so important, why didn't I just start a personal brand before? Well, just like you, I am human as well. And, besides the fact about how I value my privacy, I'm not really much of a internet celebrity personality kind of guy. I also have my insecurities, just like you do. For starters, I'm not at the level that I want to be yet. In fact, the whole reason why I started the channel without putting on my face was that, I was dealing with a lot of imposter syndrome where, I didn't feel qualified to be giving you guys advice. But of course, ever since then, I've had hundreds of people reach out to me saying that, they've made money using the content that I've shared. And, that builds a lot of your confidence over time, right? Like starting a channel with my face on it right from the get-go was not something it's not something I'd be able to do. Let's just put it that way, especially at the start. But now that we've gotten to this point, I feel at least somewhat confident in my ability, but still, I'm not at the level that, I want to be. I look at all of my friends around me, they're making 100, like 6 figures a month, 7 figures a month, and, I'm nowhere close to that. Like, sure, I might be better off than a lot of people, but it's, that saying that comparison is the thief of joy. When I look at the people around me, I don't feel enough. And in a way, that insecurity has always, prevented me from, creating a channel with my face on it. But then at the same time, you might wonder, like, okay, if I have these insecurities, then, why did I decide to start a personal brand now? And, it has to do with something that, I did recently, which was actually flip open my journal. Now, for those of you who has, followed me before, you do know that I advocate a lot for, just journaling with pen and paper. And I flipped through one of my journals, I think about a couple months ago, and the thought has been in my head where I basically moved out of the place, of the permanent place that I had in Malaysia, because I'm going to be traveling pretty much like 10 months out of the next 12 months, or even I'll pretty much be traveling over the course of the next 2 years. And it didn't make sense for me to have a house. So as I was moving out of the house, I, saw some of my old journals that I used to have. And when I flipped them open, I was like, whoa, the wave of memories just came rushing back. Like, I was able to see that, for example, back in 2018, I saw the struggles, the ups and downs that I had running a copywriting agency. And then, in 2019, I wanted, like, I don't know what went through my head at the time, but I literally wanted to be like a nutrition guru, like teaching people, you know, gut health and, all this stuff. And the funny thing was, at the time, I wasn't even in like good shape. I just knew a lot of information. I didn't implement it. Um, but yeah, and I was trying to sell a course for like $99 or something. And I thought, wow, that was the best idea ever. And, in 2020, I also looked back at the journal and I saw all the notes that I have been taking on, potentially starting a coffee business. This was during the lockdown. Like I had just started my trading journey and, I still needed some kind of like side hustle business to, pay the bills pretty much. And back then I wanted to start this brand called Loafing Bunny. Bunnies are my favorite animal, and decided it'd be cute to start like a cold brew coffee delivery service where I live. Yeah, it's just funny. And then I was like calculating the profit margins for each one of the, like for each coffee that I sold. It's a long story, but what I'm trying to get at here is that if I look back in my last, 3, 4 years of running the art of crypto and going from pretty much zero to where I am now, my biggest regret in general is that it's not the fact that, I didn't make more money or that, I didn't take certain business decisions that, would allow me to make more money or that I've lost pretty much $500,000. on crypto by investing into NFTs and investing into things that I didn't understand, like DeFi and a lot of the new tokens, like small shitcoin tokens. It wasn't any of that. Like, I'm really happy where I am now. Like, sure, I could be a lot better off in terms of money. But when I look back at the last 3 to 4 years, the biggest regret that I have is simply that I didn't document my journey enough. I didn't put myself out there. I wasn't sharing any snippets of my daily life. Like, basically, I don't have much to look back at between the years of like 2021 till now. And, that's a big regret because I look back at the journals of the past and it would be so nice to look back 10 years from now and, whoa, what was Schwin, like, what was 23-year-old Schwin thinking back then? And how was life back then? And so that's a big reason why, I'm deciding to show my face and actually document my journey. I might not be perfect. In fact, I am not perfect. I'm far from being perfect and I'm far from being at the level that I want to be. But if I can document this journey and share the lessons that I'm learning along the way with you guys, then, I'd say that's a win. And for those of you who have, not documented your life up to this point, and if you're thinking about starting, I highly recommend you do. Like, take more photos, take more videos, document your life more. You never know who's going to be watching in the future. Perhaps you can show it to your kids or even your grandkids. And how amazing would it be to say, like, hey, this was what daddy's been doing, or like, this is how, this is what daddy used to do, or something. It's, yeah. If you've ever thought about documenting your journey, take this video as a sign that, you need to get started. And just one other thing that I'm going to share about the topic of documenting is that honestly, I am where I am at right now because of a couple of influential figures. Well, now they're considered influential figures, but back then they were, just people sharing value online. And just to give you a quick backstory, I didn't grow up with my parents. In fact, they got divorced really, really early when I was a child. And I've always grew up with my grandparents. And one of the things that I learned after speaking to someone that specifically deals with like childhood trauma is that it turns out, a big part of who you are has to do with your childhood, or rather the pains that you've experienced from childhood. And more specifically, a lot of the ways that you act, the things that you seek out, tend to be something that you missed as a child. And for me, when I was asked the question of like, what was something that I really wish I had in childhood, but I didn't have? And after thinking for a long time, I remember like I was standing face to face with the guy and it took me about 5 minutes to think about it. Because like, specifically, in fact, I'll correct myself. Specifically, the question was, what did I wish I got from my dad? Because he was abusive, alcoholic, cheated on my mom, um, went bankrupt, you name it, like everything bad he's probably done at some point. And so, that was the reason why my mom divorced him and like I had to go back with my grandparents. And, I don't have good memories or even good feelings towards my dad. And so, I thought, I was over it. And no, like, why would I want anything from this guy? Like, he's obviously a scumbag. And, but after 5 minutes of standing face to face with, this guy, yeah, an answer finally did come up to me, which was the fact that, I really wished I gotten some guidance, right? Some kind of masculine direction as I was growing up. Because my grandpa's, like, I love him and all, but, grandpas don't replace dads. And so whatever missed out in childhood, I tend to seek out from the external world. And I found almost like figurative father figures from these people on the internet who are sharing value and sharing advice on, how to build your life and, what matters and stuff like that. And I just think that I wouldn't have been able to find them in the first place if these people didn't start picking up the camera and sharing, and just putting themselves out there, right? And I hope to be that kind of person for other people moving forward. And so that's another, very big reason why, I'm deciding to document my journey and to share my face and share my life. In fact, this even allows me quite a bit of freedom to just talk about, for example, Australia, or just share little bits of snippets from my life, like how I really enjoy cigars, and it's probably my biggest hobby outside of basketball. and stuff like that, you know? And guys, if you're still here so far, I just want to say thank you for being with me for the last 3 years. This year, it's going to be a lot of big things coming to the art of crypto. And, I'm looking forward to sharing all that I have inside here and just be able to share all of that value and knowledge with you guys so that you guys can also achieve the freedom that I've been able to achieve through trading. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart, sincerely. Thank you for giving me your time and to watch this video. I truly hope you gained something out from it. I know it's been a little bit of a long rant, but I promise you the future videos are going to be jam-packed with value. And yeah, if you ever want to gain more of a, look into, I suppose, a personal life so that I can connect with you guys more, feel free to follow me on Instagram. I'm going to put, the handle on the screen. And yeah, welcome to a new era of the art of crypto, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.